Hi there, everyone. This chart analyst is very well known and is saying something very interesting right now. XRP is getting ready for what could be the last big move of this market cycle. And if they're right, a lot of people who own XRP are about to get very rich. Here it is. The most recent quarterly close for XRP was the best in its history. What I mean is an hour ago. That's pretty amazing, right? It gets even more interesting after this. All of this is going on while the US government is almost shut down. Now, I know that about half of you are not from the United States. Perhaps you ask yourself, why should I care about that? Now, here's the deal. The world's biggest stock market is in the US. There are waves that go out to the whole world market when something big happens there. The connection to Ripple wasn't meant to be a joke. In other words, this does affect all of us, no matter where you are watching. The government could shut down soon, so stay tuned. To top it all off, people are worried about the patterns on Bitcoin's charts right now. I want to talk about that, but today I'm going to focus on XRP because some really cool things are happening with it. This was already said yesterday, but it's important to say it again. I keep an eye on a few XRP chart analysts whose statements have been right in the past. Analysts rightly predicted that XRP would be a part of this market cycle and that there would be a huge jump at the start of November last year. Don't forget that. What's really interesting is this. Every single one of the experts I follow is sure that XRP is going to go through a mind-boggling phase of price discovery before the end of this cycle. All of them say the same thing. In all honesty, history supports this. This is actually the most likely outcome based on what we've seen in past cycles. We can expect that from the facts. Let us talk about numbers now. We're now at the end of the day, September, and the third quarter of 2025. This took place at 7 p.m., about an hour and 20 minutes ago. It's Central Time. Where are we sitting now? In fact, everything taken into account, things look pretty solid. Now think about all the fear you've seen on social media this week. Doesn't everyone look scared? Right now, XRP is worth $2.84. Bitcoin is worth $114,385 now. There is no fall from the sky, my friends. Not even close. But some of these stories wouldn't tell you that. Check out this article from CoinDesk. Bitcoin is stable, but Bitfinex warns of risks to the fall because the US government is about to shut down. I see what you mean. In the past, when the US government shut down, it had an effect on the markets. I'm not going to say no to that. But please understand this. In the long run, it doesn't matter. 𝗙𝗶, a member of the XRP group, brought up something very interesting. Since the current budget process began in 1976, there have been 21 shutdowns of the federal government in US history. I'm not very good at math, but that means that there will be about one shutdown every 2 years. That's a lot. It does this all the time, people. What do you know? The number keeps going up. The market still grows. There might be some short-term price changes because of the shutdown, but they won't matter much in the big picture. Allow me to explain. What does not stop when the government does? All the important services. I'm talking about things like the military, police work, air traffic control, Medicare, Medicaid, Social Security payments, and all the other important tasks that keep the country going. There is no such thing as a halt. Things keep going. The crypto market keeps going forward as the markets change. During a shutdown, all of these important services keep going. Government agencies keep the staff they need to keep people, property, and the country safe. All of the important things keep working. It's true that services that aren't necessary stop, but what does that mean in real life? Well, some government workers are put on temporary leave, and it always only lasts for a short time. Some government services stop or slow down for a while. But let's be honest, what are we talking about? Some national parks have to close, passports take longer to process, and reviews by regulators take a little longer. It's not really the end of the world. If someone tries to tell you that the government shutdown will stop the crypto bull run in its tracks, they are lying. Not at all gonna happen. That doesn't make any sense to me. To be honest, it's kind of silly. Does that mean the markets won't do anything? Of course they could. I already know that could happen. But let me make my point. Something will happen, but it will only last for a short time. It doesn't matter in the big picture. Look at this now. That's one way to sit pretty. This is a post from Carson Group's top market strategist, Ryan Dietrich. He gave us some really cool facts. Even with all the trouble, the S&P 500 went up a little today. The Russell 2000 small cap stocks were also up. As of now, the S&P 500 is up 13.7% since the beginning of September. What's the big deal? Because history tells us something very important. The last 3 months of the year are almost always good when stocks are up more than 10% going into the fourth quarter. It's all on your screen right now. Yes, October can be rough, but check this out. The S&P has ended the year higher 14 of the last 15 times this scene has played out. That's a lot of energy. That's why this is important for XRP. Risky investments move with each other. The trust in the crypto market grows when the stock market does well. If the past is any indication, which it often is, we could be in for a great fourth quarter for stocks as well as a strong boost for XRP and the crypto market as a whole. Things are ready for what could be a very bullish end to the year. Take a look. Cryptocurrencies are going up at the same time as stocks. Since both are risk-on investments, they move together. That's how it works. Everything goes up at the same time when people are willing to take risks. The difference is that crypto will do much better than stocks in the long run. Why? There's not nearly as much money in crypto. A crypto product can double, triple, or even quadruple in value with as little money coming in as it takes to buy it. That's the reason why this is so important. Plus, there has been more money going around the world. You know what? I'm not saying I have a crystal ball. I'm not sure what will happen. Not a single person does. But it's not hard to figure out what's most likely to happen here. How likely is it that this will happen? A rise as the year comes to a close. When you look at the numbers, it's pretty clear. Also, Tracking Guy shared this at 7:09 p.m. That's only 9 minutes after the end of the quarter.